Hello there. All right, guys, last chapter. Can you believe it? Are you ready? So I'm going to do this in two different videos. I'm actually going to read it all right now, but I'm going to post one next and then I'll do another one. The deer are on the move here at my house, so if I seem distracted, that's why. Maybe you can even see one. Straight through there. I don't know if you can see it walking. There's another one. Can you see it walking right above our grill? It's moving to the left. I don't know if I can zoom in. Oh, I can. See him right there? He's looking at me. Oh, where'd he go? There he is. There's woods right behind my house, so I get a little bit distracted. Okay, so back to business. Okay. Sorry, last chapter. Okay. In the previous chapter, we had Mrs. Sowerby visiting the garden. And I thought it was really heartwarming how much Colin and Mary enjoyed her visit. I mean, it was really kind of neat how much Dickon enjoyed it too, considering that that's his very own mom. But Mary and Colin really felt the momness of her, didn't they? And remember at the end it said Colin was just close to her and grabbed onto her jacket or whatever she was wearing. So they really felt, it's almost like they felt the magic in her, you know? And if you think about what we know the magic actually is, it's like they felt God in her. You know, she was perhaps that representation of Mary, you know? And I don't know if that's exactly what the author intended, but just as I'm sitting here talking with you, it makes me think of it. And it's striking me when he said, oh yeah, so I'm looking at the very last, second to last paragraph of the previous chapter. It says, all at once, so it's almost the very end of that previous chapter. All at once, Susan Sowerby bent down and drew him with her warm arms close against the bosom under her blue cloak. And you know what, boys and girls, maybe the author, Frances, I'm trying to think, what is her name? Frances Hodgson Burnett. Maybe she liked the color blue, whatever. But again, as we're talking about Mrs. Sowerby being that mom figure to all three of them, and then me just thinking out loud how it makes me think of Mary, and then she's wearing a blue cloak, which I don't know about you, that always makes me think of Mary. So anyways, we've always known that that magic wasn't so much magic as it really was feeling God's presence, and mostly in creation and nature. Okay, last chapter. In the garden. So, boys and girls, I'm going to read until the part, well, I'm not going to give it away, but I have a spot marked right here where I'm going to stop, okay? In the garden. In each century, since the beginning of the world, wonderful things have been discovered. In the last century, more amazing things were found out than in any century before. In this new century, hundreds of things still more astounding will be brought to light. At first, people will refuse to believe that a strange new thing can be done. Then they begin to hope it can be done. Then they see that it can be done. Then it's done, and all the world wonders why it was not done centuries ago. And boys and girls, your challenge is to be the one who does those amazing things. And to not listen to the people who tell you you can't and tell you you shouldn't. And then let them be amazed when you do it. One of the new things people began to find out in the last century was that thoughts, just mere thoughts, are as powerful as electric batteries. As good for one as sunlight is, or as bad as poison. Think of Colin. The good thoughts were the bad thoughts were as bad as poison. But look at what his good thoughts have done. They have transformed this boy. To let a sad thought or a bad one get into your mind is as dangerous as letting a scarlet fever germ get into your body. Think of scarlet fever like, let's say, coronavirus. It was a big illness that went through the early 1900s. Or, I mean, I'm trying to remember what was it that killed Mary's mother? That illness that went through. I want to say, was it the plague? I don't know what it was. I can't remember now. But letting one of those germs in your body is just as bad as letting a bad thought into your mind. If you let it stay there after it has got in, you may never get it out, get over it as long as you live. So long as Mistress Mary's mind was full of disagreeable thoughts about her dislikes and sour opinions of people, and her determination not to be pleased by or interested in anything, she was a yellow-faced, sickly, bored, and wretched child. As long as she left those feelings in her brain and didn't kick them out, she was a terrible child. Circumstances, however, were very kind to her, though she was not at all aware of it. They began to push her about for her own good. When her mind gradually filled itself with robins and moorland cottages crowded with children, and queer, crabbed old gardeners, and common little Yorkshire housemaids, with springtime and with secret gardens coming alive day by day, and also with a Moor boy and his creatures, there was no room left for the disagreeable thoughts which affected her liver and her digestion and made her yellow and tired. Hey, Mr. Mandeville, were you going to get the shipping stuff out of there for me? So long as Colin shut himself up in his room and thought only of his fears and weaknesses and his detestation of people who looked at him and reflected hourly on humps and early death, he was a hysterical, half-crazy little hypochondriac who knew nothing of sunshine and spring, and also